Good morning, all. Ira Epstein with your morning flash update, and this update is for an important day. It is Wednesday, and it is the 3rd of May, 2023. It is Fed Day. In other words, at 1 o'clock today, we're going to get the Fed announcement at about 1:30, the press conference. We'll see what is said. I fully am in the camp of a 25 basis point hike. The Fed saying it's going to stay data dependent. That means a lot. We'll see what that means at the meeting afterwards, but that's where I'm going. We saw some refunding announcements today. We saw that supposedly Ukraine has launched drones to take out President Putin, who wasn't even in the area of the Kremlin when the drones made it, I guess, to the Kremlin. But this is the pretext that Russia wants to go after Zelensky, and we all know that. We know that they're liars. On the energy market, the president won't listen, but here you are back under $70 a barrel. They won't buy anything. They'll wait for the market to be up at 80 and then say that now is the time to buy. Energy prices, look at what gasoline just keeps coming down. This is good news. This doesn't hurt you. This helps you, actually. But wait. Where are we? We're at May 3rd. All the kids are in school. Schools aren't out. Families aren't traveling. The driving season hasn't begun. The lower you go now, the better the rally. This doesn't mean you're going back up and going to take this market to $3.50 a gallon on the futures, but it certainly means you'll get a bounce at some point. We wait for it. In the grain market, I had put out special updates this morning. Once corn was down to $5.70, I was telling my clients that had just gone short, hey, this is a gift. You got to grab something out of that, and it worked out. In the dollar, I remain fully committed to the bear side. I think the market is going to look at the fact that, relatively speaking, we are coming to the end of rate hikes. Yes, I'm data dependent, but I'm also a realist. I feel that what's going on with the banks, if you're watching at PacWest down this morning, another 10% or so in price, that what will happen is the banks, especially the regional banks that do most of the lending in the local communities, they're not going to be very aggressive. They want to hold on to their capital. They're scared. The short sellers are everywhere. They're attacking everything. They're looking for the weaknesses, and that's how this works. I mean, this is not my first rodeo with this. I've seen this play out before. The market will sell itself out. Banks will survive. How? Don't know. The weak ones, well, this is their opportunity to fold into another bank. That's the way you have to look at it. As for economic data, let's go to that, and then we'll come back to all this. The mortgage market numbers. So we were down 1.2% in the index. We were down in the purchase index, down 2%. And we're looking at the refi up, though, a little bit. So people are taking advantage. Now, my next door neighbor, who's a broker, last night she was telling us that she had a piece of property, not expensive, all right, mid-price property. Went into a bidding war. They won. They were the cash bid, but she said the bidding war, it went up about 8% in price. That's a lot. Normally it's about 5%, and their deal won the deal. But I'm shocked to hear a bidding war. U.S. Treasury quarterly refunding comes out today, and they're doing $96 billion. You can see how they're going to do all this. I don't think that messes the market up in any manner. S&P Global will come out with their April service sector PMI shortly. The ISM came out. You know what I'm missing here? I'm missing the ADP number, and that number's a blowout, over 280,000 jobs, double what the market was looking for. You heard me, double. The ISM data comes out with U.S. service sector at 9 o'clock. We get the EIA petroleum stocks at 9:30, and of course the Fed's going to come out at 1:30. And remember, tomorrow, European Central Bank's going to do their announcements, and it's just like we are. They're saying, oh, the ECB's one and done. Nonsense that it's one and done. These things end when they end. Don't anticipate it. You saw that the Reserve Bank of Australia, and people didn't pay enough attention when I mentioned this yesterday, they had to go back to raising rates. They hadn't dropped. They went into a pause. But even that hurts the credibility of the bank. When you pause, you want to be right, in the sense that that means traction's grabbing to the downside. How wrong was the bank? Real wrong. If you pause and you got to go up at the very next meeting, you've misguided yourself. I'm going to be on Australian TV in Melbourne today and Sydney. Be on at 5:30 p.m. Central Time on Aussie Biz TV. Tune in if you're in Australia. I think you always get a good comment. It's about a 10-minute interview, and today being Fed Day should be a lot of fun for us. Now, I want to point out something else. I'll be writing my reports today. Tonight's report's going to be super important on my research. Why? Because I get a chance to completely go in now, analyze what the Fed said, how the reactions are going to be, give you some ideas about the European Central Bank. This will be out by 8 p.m. Central Time. If you haven't had my research, I'd love to give it to you. It's free. I'll give it to you for 2 weeks. You'll also get the morning futures video and the Spider ETF video with it for that frame time. You'll see an icon up here. All you need to do is move your cursor up there if you're on your PC. Give it a click. Go to free offers. It'll all be there. You'll see how I come up with trade ideas, what I do. I do put out special updates. I do write 2 letters a day, Monday through Thursday, 1 on Friday, 1 on Sunday night. So you really get a full package as to what I see. You can go to iraepstein.com, free offers. You can click up here. And what else can you do? Well, you can always call us, as you can see on that number. So as we're talking, let me get back to the quotes here as to where we're going to leave you off. Here we are. All right, a small bounce happening here. You got down to the 2016 level in gold, that's fine. This market is still, to me, saying, hey, the headwind of the dollar is gone. There's reasons to be bullish. Inflation isn't going away. Energy markets, as I said, lots of problems. You know, the Turkish election, 2 weeks away. Erdogan is behind in the polls. We'll see what happens there. That will impact a lot of things, including grain. Remember that we're looking, will Russia continue with this grain deal for the UN, and who do they hurt when they say no to it? I happen to think they're going to say no to the deal. What I'm amazed at is they haven't taken out the train tracks to stop grain shipments in that way out of Ukraine. We'll see. I'm trying not to give them ideas, but I think they're smart enough to see that. And look at the bonds and notes. You're continuing to get a rally here going into the report, and part of that has to do with the fragility of the banking system and people worrying, really worrying about what does this all mean. I'm Ira Epstein. I'll catch up with you at the end of the day reviews. We'll have a lot to talk about. Look forward to seeing you tonight. Trade well.